Today we're talking with Jim Kinsler, assistant curator at SeaWorld, and today we're all about Mako. So Jim, tell us a little bit about what you do here at SeaWorld and how that plays into the Mako story.
Well, as the assistant curator of fishes, I have the opportunity with my team to work with all these fascinating creatures, all the fish that you see in the park and the reptiles, and specifically what you see behind me, the sharks.
Cool. And so we know Mako is more than a coaster. It's actually like Shark Reef is full-on experience, like beyond the coaster. We want to learn about everything, and one of the most major issues that SeaWorld's been talking about since Mako was shark finning. Can you tell us a little why that's a major problem in the world today and the impact you're hoping to make?
Certainly. Shark finning is a real detrimental practice where sharks are caught, their fins are removed, and then the rest of the body is dumped overboard. And the fins are used to make shark fin soup, which is a delicacy in some parts of the world. Now the issue there is that there are up to 100 million sharks removed from our oceans every year. And if you think about it, that is obviously a huge number. And when you remove that number of animals from any environment, whether it's in the oceans or terrestrial, it's going to impact the ecosystem. And unfortunately, the sharks play a critical role as an apex predator. So if you remove that predator from the ocean, other species, other groups of animals are going to be impacted. They can bloom and they can crash, and you can actually end up eliminating more than just the shark species themselves.
And can you tell us a little bit about the collection of shark life we have here at SeaWorld Orlando?
Yes, we have several, up to 15 different species of sharks here at SeaWorld Orlando, ranging from white-spotted bamboo sharks, which only get about 3 feet long and live on the bottom of the ocean, all the way up to our sand tigers here, which get up to 9-10 feet long and considered some of the larger sharks in our environment.
Cool. And one final question. So have you ridden Mako yet? And what did you think?
I am about to ride Mako. I have not yet, but that's my hope here very soon.
Cool. Thanks for talking with us today. We're here with Mike Denninger. He's the head of development and design for SeaWorld Orlando and all of CE's parks.
That's right.
And we're going to talk with him about Mako, the ride itself. So Mike, let's start off with what you like most about Mako, the story, the ride, anything.
You know, this is a great attraction at this park. It's hard to pick one thing that I like. This is more than just a coaster. You see the coaster behind me, but this is an entire realm that we're in right here. This is Shark Reef, which is a mouthful, but it's a great realm that's really dedicated all to the shark. So here, here at SeaWorld, we're all about experiences that matter, and we are putting you right in the middle of all the action with all the sharks. So Mako the coaster is right here behind me. So favorite part of the coaster experience is the airtime. I love the airtime on this ride. It was done very intentionally. We wanted to really over-deliver with airtime, and we've accomplished that with Mako. Fantastic ride experience.
Very cool. So what was some of the challenges when you were building Mako? What was probably your biggest challenge?
You know, there are a couple big challenges here. You know, number one, a huge portion of this ride, going overhead right now, and it's going to come back around here in a minute. It's going to dive down towards the lake, and that was going to be, diving back towards the lake. It's one of the challenges. A huge portion of this ride is over water, which required a lot of special construction methods. You know, we had to pull back, put a dam in, dredge, put the foundations where they are currently underwater, and then we had to put everything back together. There's also, this is a full-time park. We're open every single day here at SeaWorld Orlando, and this coaster, it goes all over the place inside the park, and we could not close this pathway down at all. We never did. We kept this pathway open every single day for our guests.
Yeah, I remember seeing that a lot, as well as when you were talking about the construction, having multiple places seemingly working at the same time over the water, here in the station area, the queue area, all at one time. Were there any challenges with that, or was that just to get the timeline moved up quicker?
Yeah, it's all, these projects are all about phasing, and we have the added, consideration that we have a working park. So we're not seasonal here. We can't just just shut everything and start digging. We have to be very methodical about how we do it so that we don't back ourselves into a corner, so to speak, and we also maintain good guest flow, especially during peak attendance periods, because you don't want to have a 5-foot wide pathway at Christmas time, right? So we have to really plan that. We plan it with the park. So all of our construction projects in our full-time parks have that special consideration.
Awesome. And so the last question I've been asking everybody, have you ridden Mako yet? What do you think?
Oh, I've ridden Mako a ton of times, and Mako is a perfect ride experience if you like heights, speed, and airtime. So this delivers. It's 200 feet tall, 73 miles an hour. It's almost a mile of track, over 2.5-minute ride duration. There is nothing like this anywhere in this market. You have to come to SeaWorld Orlando to ride Mako to get this relentless airtime. It will leave you feeling both breathless and weightless.
All right, awesome. Thanks. All right, folks, we're here with Brian Morrow, VP of Themed Entertainment Design with Orlando, and my opinion, Florida's best new coaster.
Thank you.
Mako. So, Brian, tell us a little bit about Mako itself.
Well, all you gotta know, guys, it's Orlando's tallest, fastest, and longest coaster. When you get to the top of 200 feet, I really suggest you look out and wave at all the other tiny coasters in the city, because we kind of broke all the records with this guy. And it's an amazing ride, and you get to be the shark, the Mako shark point of view for a ride experience you can't find anywhere else. It's tremendous.
All right, and I noticed, just like everything else at SeaWorld, Mako's more than a coaster. It's definitely a whole area. It's a whole realm, if you will.
Yes.
Even at one point in the concept art, you had this name Shark Realm. So tell us what details you can find through the realm, even if you're not going to ride this coaster.
Yeah, so the new realm name, that was our temp placeholder, Shark Realm, but our actual name of the realm is called Shark Wreck Reef. The story is very simple. These ships have fallen from the surface where man lives in the water down to the bottom of the ocean. The ocean has taken these ships back over. There's barnacles growing, corals, small fish, and then after the fish comes the big sharks. So we have sharks sculptures represented everywhere. So I think of them this way: if a roller coaster and a shark made a baby, that's what our shark sculptures look like. And they're all over the park, and they're really cool, they're really edgy, and they're all made out of metal, like some sort of weird metal origami. It's totally cool. So take a look for those. And then we have new education experiences, 3 of them in fact, zones that you can learn about the species of sharks, over 420 types of sharks. You can learn what sharks eat, and guess what? We are not on that menu, which is good news. And you can learn about the design of sharks, what makes them unique, good hunters, good swimmers, and really important to our total ecosystem out in the ocean. And then there's Sharks Restaurant, Sharks Bar, new shopping experiences, and of course, the Mako right behind me.
Awesome. Now, when I was in the queue for a soft opening, I noticed there are 7 phases of a Mako shark hunting. You want to tell us a little bit about those real quick?
There's 7 senses that all sharks use when they hunt, including the Mako. So they have 7 senses, 2 of which are unique to sharks that we don't have, which are the sense of electrical currents or pulses and the ability to sense pressure. The first sense a shark will use is, strangely enough, hearing. He can actually hear pretty well. That will track him onto the prey. He'll go through the other senses up to the very last one, which is his teeth or biting. He does a test bite to make sure that what he's tracked and hunted is the thing he wants to eat. That's why when humans and sharks interface, what has happened is that the shark's other senses, all 6 of them, have tricked him into thinking that the prey is a human, that that's what he wants to have. But guess what? They bite once and they let go. They realize, this is not at all what I thought it was. You are not a sea lion. I am out of here. The sharks, they really aren't into humans. We're not on their menu. And the really cool fact, you're more likely to be killed by a mosquito than an actual shark attack.
Really cool. So, being the VP of Theme Design, what's your favorite little detail that people might not notice here at Mako or Shark Wreck
Reef? The one
Reef?
that you're gonna notice that I am obsessed with is the ceiling in the station. We spent a fair amount of time making sure we had a great show and a great story in our actual station. Not a lot of time and effort is spent in these spaces because they're really operational, but I love storytelling in stations because people are excited, they're engaged, and they're paying attention. It's a great place to do it. Things you might not notice that I'm truly obsessed with are our corals. They're tiny and they're everywhere. There he goes. I can't talk over the Mako. I want to go ride. are the little corals, and we actually made them out of metal. And we had these kind of blacksmith guys, these artists, actually create all these coral sculptures out of metal, and then we encrusted them with recycled crushed glass and plastics, and at night they actually seem to glow and come alive. They're really cool.
All right, really cool. And our final question I've been asking everybody I've been interviewing around here, have you been on Mako? What do you think? You like coasters in general, or?
I love coasters, and my favorite type of coaster happens to be a hyper coaster. Before I even worked on Mako, they've always been my favorite. I love airtime. I crave it. I adore it. It's my favorite thing. And so when we decided this is what we're doing, I got very excited because I never got to design one. So it's very exciting. I've been on it many, many times. I don't know how many any longer. Favorite seats, front row, right-hand side.
Very awesome. Anything else you want to tell our viewers at Wild Gravity Travels, Brian?
Yeah, we love you guys, and we know you're fans of us, and we want you to come out here and ride this amazing ride, but also take a minute, learn while you're here, and share what you're learning on your social media channels. Take photos in the photo op areas about sharks, learn about sharks, and share what you know about sharks, because together, all of us, through theme park entertainment experiences, can actually make a difference in the world for all the animals, and right now we're talking about the sharks. So come experience, play, learn, and share. See you soon.